Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil ameen. Amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, I have some very important reminder for you tonight. You know, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us of the stories of nations before us many times, so that we take ibrah, lessons from them. Prophet Hud Alehisssalam and Salih Alehisssalam, peace be upon them both, Alehisssalam, their story comes repeatedly in the Quran, wherever Nuh and Musa Alehisssalam are mentioned, and sometime in details, like in Surah Al-A'raf, Aad and Thamud, very strongly, clear, powerful depictions. Then Surah Hud. So tonight, inshallah, we'll be covering this story twice, just in one night, one after other. In fact, Surah Al-Furqan, Allah mentions it, Surah Shu'ara, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions it, and then Surah Al-Naml, full details, don't play with the bottles please, full details of 9 people, actually 9 corrupt people who are responsible actually for destruction, fasad. تِسْعَةُ رَهْطٍ يُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا يُصْلِحُونَ. These 9 people are very bad people, and their leader is the one who slaughters and kills, butchers the Naqatullah, the Camel of Allah. And Allah mentions him in the Quran in Surah Al-Shams. إِذٍ بَعَثَ أَشْقَاهَا, the most wicked of ever. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ وَسُقْيَاهَا فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا. Rasul is telling them, Sayyidina Salih, this is Allah's camel. It belongs to Allah. Don't harm her. Don't hurt her. You asked for a sign, and a sign came. She came right out of a big mountain, a pregnant she-camel. And Allah says the most wicked of their nation person denied it, and he killed her. And there were 9 basically total people who led the whole effort, and the rest of them were just watching on the sidelines. So it's a very critical lesson to learn from here, that when munkar is happening and you actually endorse it. Remember what I've been saying for years in this masjid. I've been saying that when you see evil, don't be radi with it in your hearts, otherwise Allah's adab could come upon us too. This is what happened with these people. They were radi. That's why they were destroyed. They were happy with it. They were satisfied with it. So what? Oh, what's the big deal? He killed the naqa. So what? So what? He says you have thalathatu ayyam. You have 3 days, and after that a great adab of Allah is coming. And then when the clouds are coming, say, oh, this is rih. This is winds of rain are coming. Allah says, no, بَلْ هُوَ مَسْتَعْجَلْتُمْ بِهِ رِيحٌ فِيهَا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ تُدَمِّرُ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ بِأَمْرِ رَبِّهَا. This is Surah Al-Ahqaf. Repeatedly this story will come in the Quran. I want to, subhanAllah, it just happened. I looked at the calendar just before Isha, around 10 p.m. I said, wow, look at the coincidence, subhanAllah. I want to narrate to you a hadith of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tonight. And I literally ran up in the library and grabbed this, and I got the hadith for you. Rasulullah SAW asked people, actually Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu is the narrator of this hadith. I'll tell you why. Rasulullah asked him, Man ashqal awwaleen? Who is the most wicked? Remember, when Allah calls somebody shaqi, that means that's a man of hell. That man will not come out of hellfire. In fact, scholars now are debating, is he now a kafir? The person who killed, like the man who killed Naqatullah. Because tonight, 21st of Ramadan, is the Martyrdom of Ali ibn Abi Talib also. Khalifatul Muslimin, really the end of righteous Caliphate. They tried 6 months of Hassan, but it didn't work. After that, Muslim Ummah has never had Caliphate of Rashidun, like the Rashidun that Rasulullah said, the guided Khulafa, Mahdiyin. That Prophet said, Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnatil Khulafa al-Rashidin al-Mahdiyin. This is the night, and subhanAllah, we're reading the same story. So what happened, Prophet ﷺ asked him, do you know who is the most wicked? Meaning the man of hell, the worst man in hell ever in the past. He says, Aqirun naqa. And he said then, وَمَنْ أَشْقَى الْآخِرِينَ? Who is the most wicked of the akhirin? Some riwayat, they say, Allahu wa rasuluhu a'lam. La ilma li ya Rasulullah. Ali is saying that, Ibn Abi Talib. Rasulullah said, الذي يطعنك أو يضربك, 2 riwayat. على هذه. And he pointed at his head. He says, here. the one who will hammer you right here, attack you with a sword or something right here. And he will, and Rasulullah ﷺ pointed it out to him. And وَكَانَ يَقُول, this was a very sad moment. Actually, a Jum'ah before this happened, he said, this is very powerful, subhanAllah. He says, وَدِدْتُ أَنَّهُ قَدْ انْبَعَثَ أَشْقَاكُمْ فَخَضَّبَ هَذِهِ مِنْ هَذِهِ يعني لِحْيَتُهُ مِنْ دَمِ رَأْسِهِ. He was making dua that I love for that wicked man that Rasulullah promised. He comes and finished this off and colors his beard with blood, as Rasulullah told us, because he was tired with the way his own people were doing to him. They were not following him. In fact, many times he asked them, stand up, which one of you was there when Rasulullah ﷺ took a promise from you and told you to follow me? And many of them raised their hands. There's many ahadith about him, subhanAllah. So, based on that, I was actually, subhanAllah, I just wanted to see what scholars have said. You know, one of the first website that came in front of me was this Islam Web, subhanAllah. On Islam Web, they had literally a fatwa. There was a discussion between scholars that the man who killed him, so he is the most wicked of our times. So the most wicked of previous times was this man who killed the Camel of Salih Alehisssalam. And the most wicked of this ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ummah of Muhammad of Akhirin, is the man who kills Ali ibn Abi Talib, who did. His name is Abdul Rahman ibn al-Muljam. And you know, subhanAllah, on Islam Web, scholars after scholars are writing, Qabbahahullah, Qabbahahullah, La'anatullah alayh. You know, they're saying that. But the discussion between them is he mukhallad fi nar, or is he going to hellfire for some time? That's the discussion, because he was a Kharji. You see, the Kharji fitna is so dangerous. May Allah save you and I from that. It's very dangerous fitna. The killing of a believer, of a Muslim, it's very dangerous. So this man, when they killed him, you see what happened after, and this is, by the way, from Silsilatul Ahadith al-Sahihah of Shaykh Nasruddin al-Albani rahimahullah, and the number of as-Sahihah is 1088. And he says, this is one of his students who compiled an abridged version. A brother from Saudi Arabia actually brought it to me as a gift. He says, قال الشيخ رحمه الله, that some people say this is ضعيف. They said no, لكن الحديث الصحيح فقد جاءت له شواهد كثيرة عن جمع من الصحابة منهم علي وعمار وصهيب. So many Sahaba, Suhaib رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. Many Sahaba have narrated this. It's a Sahih Hadith, authentic story, that as Prophet told him, exactly like that happened. But the big thing is, when the nation of Saleh Alehisssalam was standing on the sidelines and letting this happen, when Ali radiallahu anhu was not being supported, many of his own people were standing on the sidelines. After that, many bad incidents happened. A lot of bloodshed, a lot of corruption, a lot of fitna came on the Muslims. One after other fitna. And so much so that people went to Hasan al-Basri. Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah, one of the Sayyid al-Tabi'een, says, oh Hasan, make dua for us. This tyrant is killing us. This tyrant is torturing us. He says, you want me to make dua? I remember that old man when his beard used to get wet with tears, and you were not supporting him at that time. You were making ta'an on him. You were criticizing him. You were doing all kinds of bad things to him. Now this is adab of Allah on you. This is sawta, a whip from God to you. So my brothers and sisters, my point is, when evil happens, number one lesson is never be a sideliner and a satisfied person with it. Always say, Allah, if you are weak, you can't do anything. Allah, I make dua for my brothers. Oh Allah, I'm not radhi with it. I'm not part of this. So that Allah will save you from His wrath. It's very important. Never be a party to it without being party of it. Never do that. Because what happened to the Qawm, a lot of problems happened with us after Sayyidina Ali also died. And look at this. I mean, we have never seen Khilafah Rashida after that. They tried Hassan ibn Ali for 6 months, but he was coerced. He was coerced into a so-called peace agreement, which was really, as Prophet says, hudnatun ala dukhan. It was just a lid on the fire. It didn't solve the problem. And you see, even today, the word Khilafatul Rashida has become such a big no word that whether in Muslim states or non-Muslim, you mentioned, you have presidents of this country. They said, we will never let anybody establish Caliphate. They have said it on record. Why? Because some bad people have used the name of Khilafah. Today, bad people use the name of Khilafah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and guide us all. So I just wanted to let you know that in Islam, Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, he is called Naqatullah fil Islam. And the person who killed Naqa, the camel of Saleh, is the most wicked of their time. And the person who killed our Naqatullah is the most wicked of our time. By the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hadith sahih. So Naqatullah in Islam now is Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. So he's Imam al-Haq, Shaykh ibn Hajar, Allama ibn Hajar al-Asqalani calls him. He is Imam of Haq in all his battles. Haq is with him. He was not misguided. He was not dal, because Nas, Sahih Nas of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirms that he is Khalifatul Rashid. Remember that, inshallah. This is our Aqidah of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. And remember, the reason Allama ibn Hajar says, why is it that in the books of Hadith you have most virtues by number are mentioned of Ali? It's because of these problems, that when he was involved in these conflicts, people started spreading bad rumors about him. It's called character assassination. When people started doing that, so muhaddithin of this ummah, they said, we're going to make it a case that every hadith that Prophet ﷺ said, Sahih hadith, they collected it. So much so that I'll leave you with one example. One example. Actually two. One is Abu Bakr says, love Prophet's household for the sake of Prophet's love. Urqubu Muhammadan fi ahli bayti. Alehissalaatu wassalam. If you want to love Prophet, love his family. Second hadith, Imam Muslim in Sahih Muslim brings it in the book of Iman. Hadith, very beginning. He says, Hubbu Ali Iman. Qala Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hubbu Ali Iman wa bughdu Ali nifaq. Prophet told him, Ali, la yuhibbuka illa huwa mu'min wa la yubghiduka illa huwa munafiq. Ali himself narrates this, that no one will love you except he's a mu'min, no one will have a malice, grudge, bughd against you except he's a munafiq. May Allah save you and I from all kinds of nifaq and give us tawfiq to love Rasulullah and his family, his household, the way Rasulullah and his family wanted us to love them. The right way, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give you and I tawfiq. Jazakumullahu khairan.